A war is coming. This was not by design, but you are.
La sortie de Tron l'héritage en France est prévue pour le 9 février prochain et fait l'objet d'une adaptation sous la forme d'un jeu vidéo multiplateforme par le studio Propaganda Games. Créé en 2005, ce studio canadien appartenant à Disney a sorti en 2008 la version HD de Turok avant de se consacrer à Tron Evolution et au jeu de rôle Pirates des Caraïbes. Le développement de ce dernier, pourtant prometteur, a été annulé fin 2010 par Disney, entraînant du même coup une restructuration du studio. Nous avons rencontré David Patch, le directeur artistique de Tron Evolution pour Propaganda, à l'occasion d'une énorme conférence de presse consacrée à la fois à la sortie du jeu et du film. Ce dernier fait bien entendu suite au long-métrage culte sorti en 1982 qui mettait en scène Kevin Flynn, un programmeur de génie prisonnier d'un monde virtuel. Un film qui a marqué toute une génération en popularisant les images numériques.
I saw it in the theaters in 1982, and it was, at that time, monumental to, I was studying art and stuff like that, and suddenly to see computer animation, the idea of the inside of the computer represented with, human-like traits and personalities, just opened up a whole Pandora's box to me, and what was possible, both from an artistic point of view, but also from, storytelling and movies.
Marqué par le film original à sa sortie, David Patch a également vu sa vie personnelle quelque peu bouleversée par le jeu vidéo Tron Evolution, qui ne se contentera pas d'être une banale adaptation littérale de plus.
So I started about a year and a half ago. It was actually what got me to move up from San Francisco. They said, "We want to come up and work on Tron." And I was like, yeah. So the biggest part of that was we're actually integrating and becoming part of the Tron IP, so that we weren't just a movie game, basically telling the same story over from a different point of view, or we got to actually tell the story leading into the movie. We tell the backstory of Cora, of Flynn, of Clue. And in that regard, we started really working with theatrical, because they had these characters set up and they knew they were starting to develop this world. And so we needed to develop the world as well from a different point of view, but also expand upon it. A movie is 1.5 hours, so they can really isolate and hone in on what Tron City was and what the game grids were, whereas we expanded out beyond that. We showed a lot of different parts of the world, like Arsha City and Bostrom Colony, which are integral now and are part of the canon. They're part of the backstory. They're part of everything that is Tron. But at the time when we got the game, there was just a sentence going, these ISOs live there, period. And so we got to expand upon that and had weekly meetings with theatrical. It's like, here's where we're taking your designs. Here's where we're taking your ideas. Here's where we're taking your characters. And getting them to buy in to our ideas, nudge them a little bit, and then also present upwards. Like we're doing this. This is explaining how Tron, the scorched sky you see with electricity and all the legacy, how it got that way. So we got to tell that story of what happens to the sky and why that, and they took that and went, this is great. We're going to integrate this into our canon and probably tell part of that in the movie as well.
Le jeu Tron Evolution est difficile à cerner en termes de gameplay. Il propose en effet de nombreuses mécaniques de jeu empruntées à d'autres titres pour présenter finalement un panel assez varié d'interactions possibles. Mêlant action, course, plateforme et RPG, on peut se demander la raison d'être de ce cocktail ambitieux des genres.
The combat style that we saw coming from Legacy, which was this high mobility, kind of loop kicking, kind of very acrobatic kind of movement, played into a few games out there already when you saw wall running and stuff like that and climbing. So we go, okay, let's take that element, and instead of just having the wall running be a way to get around the world, let's actually integrate it into our combat as well. So that is how the disc combat evolved. It became, and Tron's all about the disc, so we put that in, and then it's all about the light cycle as well. So we're taking like all the icons that is Tron and integrating it into the game. One of the funny things was we wanted to base it on physics, just like you see in the movie. The bikes turn and lean and have mass and have weight, and as opposed to the 82, which is very linear. One speed and that's it. It's either you're going or not. But we found in our multiplayer that not having the 90-degree turns just didn't feel like Tron. So we had this huge engineering dilemma, because it's a physics-based model, to drive this bike going 300 miles per hour. What happens with 300 miles per hour when you do a 90-degree turn, when you do physics? And it failed over and over and over again, but finally the engineer, working on his own time, goes, oh, by the way, check this out. And so now in multiplayer we have 90-degree turns, and suddenly we're like, this is great, this is Tron, this is a lot of fun to play.
Un jeu ambitieux donc, peut-être même plus fidèle à l'œuvre originale que le film. Une pareille licence est en effet un cadeau du ciel, et l'on espère que Propaganda Games saura nous proposer un gameplay cohérent qui ne parte pas dans tous les sens. Inutile de vous dire que Tron Evolution sera critiqué très prochainement dans 101%, quelques jours avant sa sortie dans les bacs.